In this video, we'll be looking at this model of Toyota Camry. I've been meaning to do this video, but I just said let me confirm few things before I can be able to talk about it, since I'm not an expert on Toyota. Um, so, so of course, the purpose of this video is to warn you against buying this particular Toyota Camry. Yes, avoid buying that, but not all of them that you should run away from. So there's a specific model or version of this Camry. This was produced in 2002 to 2006. I think it was facelifted at some point. So uh, I think like 2005 to 2006. I'm not so sure, but I don't think, because I could see some differences on the tail lights for some of them. So anyway, but before I'll tell you which one to avoid, we just go to the normal car specifications. This is what it looks like from the front and the side view. If you look at it very well, you can tell it's almost the same. It has similar look to that of 2003 Corolla, 2003, 2004 Toyota Corolla. It's especially the front view. But this is much wider, bigger. Actually, it has a nickname here in Nigeria. They call it Big for Nothing. Honestly, by the time you hear everything I'll describe about this car, you know that it was a befitting name. Yeah, to me, I fully regard the car as Big for Nothing. It just doesn't make sense. It was so big, but then okay, not all of them though, but generally, man, the size was just not. It didn't make sense. Okay, so let's look at the rear view. So this is what it looks like. I'm not sure, but it appears this could be the pre-facelift, like the 2002 to 2004. I'm just looking at the tail lights. It seems that is it. Hey, okay. If I'm wrong, maybe you can put it in the comment section. Because there's another one here. You can see this one has 2006 here as the title of the picture. So I don't know. I could be wrong. It could be that this is not wrong. This is what I found online. So according to the title of the picture, this is 2006. So this should be the facelifted version of this Camry. I've forgotten the generation. I don't even know the generation of this Camry. So you can tell the difference between the two. Look at this one. The red part of the tail light is in the middle. Then the upper one, this should be reversed, if I'm not mistaken. This should be the directional light. So while this one, the white part of the tail light is in the middle. Okay. So there could be other differences. I don't know. Maybe you can put it down in the comment section. The standard of this, they don't actually have this damper here. Or spoil. What do you even call this? Damper. Can't remember. Okay, so let's look at the interior. Absolutely boring, honestly. Unless I'm very wrong that this is not the interior of this car, but the title say 2003. But man, I mean, even at the year, you might say, "Oh, I'm comparing it to today's standard." No, I mean, even that time, I mean, come on, it's just too basic for a Camry, even the Corolla kind of maybe they are the same interior with Corolla of that year, but man, I just that's what I'm saying. They call it beef for nothing because it was just so basic. It was just too boring to look at. Nothing so special about the car. Okay. So let's look at the um instrument panel or instrument cluster. Yeah, like I said, just like the dashboard, nothing here special. Um, yeah, I drove this car once. The first time I drove this car was 20, 20 no, not 2013, like 2011 or thereabout. Maybe 2011, 2012. Within that time, I drove this car. Within that time, I drove this car. I was nothing really impressive. And that was the only time I drove the car. It was a four-cylinder one, which I'm going to get to eventually. Anyway, so the reason why I remember it was because the first time I sat in the car, I was looking at the instrument panel. I was like, so this it? I mean, it was like the only first time I also sat inside the car. So I was like, as big as this car is, I sat inside. I was like, come on, it should be something look more a little bit lost or something, not just basic. No, but some people like the car anyway. So okay, let's look at the engine. So the car has three engines, three petrol engines for North America. I can't tell about other regions specifications. So North America, it has only one four-cylinder engine. This is the popular 2AZ FE 2.4-liter engine. So for the pre-facelift, that's 2002 to 2004, the engine had 157 horsepower with 220 Nm torque. For some reasons, it appears, I'm not sure, that when the car was facelifted, the power was downgraded to 154 HP and 217 torque. Hey, I could be wrong, but that's what I saw online. Okay, so that's the only four-cylinder engine in the vehicle. Not necessary. In fact, the car is like 9.4, 9.5, 0 to 60 seconds. So, what I mean, 9.909 seconds fast car. So it's not really that quick. No. So with this engine, that's what I mean. It's okay for fuel consumption. How is it safe? I didn't even check that much. Okay, so let's look at the other ones. Now, from what I saw online, it has two V6 engine. The first one that was introduced was 3.0. So, but I don't actually know what the 3.3, the second V6 that was introduced. I think almost both of them were side by side at some point. I think the 3.3 maybe from 2004, but this one started in 2002. So this is well, I don't know if I don't even know which one is this, whether it's the one 3.0 or the 3.3. I don't know. All I know is exactly engine used in Camry 2002 to 2004. To 2000. I don't know, maybe it didn't get 3.0 may not get to 2006, who knows, but 3.3 got to 2006 production. So the 3.0 V6, the first production of it had 190 horsepower Um, not much talk. Then later, I think from 2005, they upgraded the power a little bit to like 210 horsepower and 290 some torque. So, it's about 8 point something second car in terms of quickness. So, fast, not too fast. Now, the 3.3 is another V6 petrol. That one kind of, it's about 225 horsepower. The first time it started, 225. I can't remember the year, but I know that's the year they introduced this car on this Camry. But let's just leave it at uh, it started with 225 horsepower with about 320 something torque. And but for some reasons, it appears, I'm not sure, the power was downgraded before this production of Camry was discontinued. So kind of wonder why we did reduce the power from 225 to 210. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the information I got on the site was not correct. They also reduced the torque. So okay, that's about it. Now let's get to the main reason why I'm doing this video. Now that you know what the car looks like and some other things. So majority of people prefer this model of Camry with the four-cylinder engine. So the 3.0 liter V6 of this that is in this Camry is 1MZ-FE, while the 3.3 is 3MZ-FE. Okay, so that's what I know. I could be wrong. So this one, the popular 2MZ-FE. So this is like the first time they started using this Toyota introduced its engine in not just in Camry, maybe other brands. So this is like their first production before it was eventually improved on. Remember, I did a video where it was used on 2009 Camry, no, Corolla, 2009 to 2013, Corolla. Am I right? So that one was improved on, but this early production 2002 won. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, this is the one people actually go for because four cylinders, so the fuel consumption is expected to be lesser than that of the V6 3.0 or 3.3. However, it's not about even the fuel. Run for your dear life. Avoid, if you can avoid this car completely, if you can't tell the difference. But if you must be this Camry, do not buy it with this engine. Don't make that mistake. Two things I personally know about this, not what I read online. Two things based on what people have complained of, or I see people going through headache during their ownership of this engine. Number one, anything that will make this engine overheat is almost like the engine is gone. For whatever reason, it could be that it's even a defect that the head gasket cannot withstand any small kind of heat. But if for whatever reason this engine overheats, forget the engine. First thing will happen is it will get the gasket to damage. Then the cylinder head bolts. There are bolts, those are technicians among us who know what I'm talking about, that hold the cylinder head gasket in between, so you're holding the cylinder head to the engine block. So the problem is not the bolt, the problem is the cylinder block, the engine block. Engine block is as if it was built with biscuit. So the thread of those holes where you put the bolt, once the engine overheat, to just wear out. It's not as if maybe somebody would go and turn it and the process will wear it out. No, on its own, the boat will just strip. The thread on the block will strip, as in wash, to the point that on few occasions, some people, once their engine start overheating, you see water will start gushing out from even the cylinder head somewhere around there onto the gearbox or down the engine block to under the vehicle, or be, of course, as doing it will falling on the exhaust, the catalyst, or be entering and be mixing with the engine oil on the oil pan. But what was fascinating was one case I observed where when they removed this cover, cylinder head cover, remove other things to now gain access to remove the cylinder bolt. Guys, as they were putting the wrench to unscrew the, okay, call it, it's not screw, it's actually bolt, but just to remove the bolt. It was as if, as they were doing that, they didn't even need to put the wrench. You just use your hand to turn. In other words, there was no need for them to have put wrench or tool. All you that needed was, as soon as you remove the cylinder and get everything covering that place to access the bolt, those bolts, just put your hand and pull it out, the bolt. It happened one case. It was that bad. You just had to put your hand to just pull it up, as in nothing was holding the cylinder head again to the engine block. That was how bad the thread of the engine block shred worn, as in it was that bad. Of course, here in Nigeria, the person was not comfortable to go and retrieve the cylinder engine block, So, because he believed, if the factory one couldn't hold, is it the locally constructed thread on the block that will be able to hold? So we decided to buy another engine. But what I was telling myself in my mind, you're buying another engine that have almost the same weakness. So what makes you think that this one you're buying will last you 1 month? Man, see. No, so the engine is a mess. If the engine ever overheat, maybe if you are lucky, it might overheat the first time, not the best. Some people, unfortunately, their first overheating will at the end of the engine. So you have two options. Before I get to the option, let me also explain another issue this engine was known for. Oil burn oil like hell. But I don't think that is even the major issue to solve, because Toyota engines, they are known for oil burn, so most of them not all. So why waste your time? So it's not like peculiar to this one. The major issue is that cylinder engine block issue and the head gasket problem. Sometimes I don't even know, is it that the head gasket is what is making it overheat and they eventually cause that problem? Because head gasket will not make that thread on the block to wear off. So is it that because the thread, the heat, the block doesn't be able to hold the heat, so eventually it will melt the thread where the bolt is supposed to hold onto the bolt, so the gasket will just give up, since it's no longer tight enough to hold. But I just don't know. It was a messed up design for production. So at some point it was improved on. The other thing is, if you are lucky sometimes, maybe the one you purchased, they've already introduced the threaded, the block. They say, to me, it might be difficult to actually get a used Toyota Corolla Toyota Camry 2002 to 2006 with this engine that have not had this problem like 2 or 3 times. So it's possible that even the person outside Nigeria in North America have done the job once or twice. Maybe now introduce a stronger trade on the block so that you'll be able to last longer than buy another stock block or engine. And eventually will do the same thing. So once I wouldn't bother buy another engine knowing that it's going to happen. So for me, I will find a way to retrade the current one if it will work. But it might not work or last long again. So so that's it. So this is the main issue why you shouldn't buy, especially with this engine, this Camry version. So the only way it makes sense to have this Camry, if you must, I'll show you. If you must have this Camry and have peace of mind, then go for any of the V6 engines. One thing I'll tell you is, I honestly, from observation, not experience, on their V6 engine, the Camry, their V6, they don't give much issues compared to the 4 cylinders. Even the earlier model of Camry, their V6 engines tend to be much better in terms of dependability. So, and what that means is you have to be willing to pay. In other words, yeah, okay. Which one will you choose? Choose the engine that every now and then you are buying, replacing the engine. You are rebuilding it over and over, retreading the cylinder head. You are scared to travel with the car because it might heat up too much and then damage the engine block where the thread. Almost every Toyota Camry user in Nigeria have seen in order to reduce the engine heat, they have to bypass their cooling system, remove the thermostat, connect the fan to be spinning constantly as soon as they switch on ignition or start the engine. It stays on high speed so that the engine temperature will keep staying on the cold zone without even climbing up at all. So that the head gasket, the engine block stays cooler to avoid this issue. But see, it happens. But at least the chances of happening often will be reduced compared to the V6 that you don't have that problem. Or instead of having all those issues I mentioned, or abusing your car, all those things I mentioned, you just get a V6 and now be spending a little bit more on fuel to avoid all those issues. You pick one. In other words, two devils. Pick one. I will pick the V6 because peace of mind is better than, why we have a car? I can't even do a journey with the car with the fear that the car might go half into the journey, or maybe halfway you just give up. This issue will happen, and that will be the end of the journey. You have to tow the car back, or you end the journey. Or, how could you continue the journey when you have a bill of repair? You just whatever you are going for be cancelled because all you'll be thinking of, how do I get this car back home? Because are you towing it to your destination when you know, unless you are closer to your destination where you are going before you consider towing it to that place. If not, if it's halfway, you can as well tow it back to your departure and source for fun or deal with the issue of replacing engine or this or that or changing the head gasket over and over. Every now and then you are busy removing your cylinder and changing the gasket and dealing with the engine block issue. So this is you have no issue. Of course, doesn't mean this engine will have or does not have its own peculiar issue. At least, okay, I may not know much about the 3.3, but 3.0, both of them, you are better off with any of those two. That's my point. So you might have one or two other issues, mostly maybe the accessories, maybe the ignition coil, that's about it. I don't know anyway. I'm not an expert on Toyota. But like I say, I hardly hear anybody complaining of Toyota V6 engines issues compared to that of the 4 cylinder. numerous. I can't even know. I mean, it's not just even this generation of Camry, but we are talking about this model. So that's why I say avoid this Camry version or generation if you can, but then if you must, it has to be a V6. Unfortunately, V6 for those of us who are into performance, the V6 they didn't do manual transmission. They only did manual transmission for the 4 cylinder, this horrible engine, 2AZFE. So you have option of 4-speed automatic or 5-speed manual. So but for the V6, it's only 5-speed automatic they did. So doesn't mean it won't serve you. I'm just saying those of us who are into hardcore performance, yeah, will prefer the manual, obviously, if they are done manual, you know. I'm not saying I will buy, even if they did manual, I'll buy. I'm just saying this is where it benefits you more if you're into performance like that. You know, automatic will serve, but automatic is automatic. You can never derive the joy, derive driving manual with a high powerful engine than automatic. Complete different driving pressure you can derive from both of them. So other than that, the car. I mean, this car. One good thing about the car is the boot is massive. About 400 and something liter. It's not as if it's that much, maybe 470 or that, but it's not as if it's too huge like that, but it's very big. As in, it's big. That was the first big boot I saw that was very big and massive. You can put one big cow inside the boot. I actually saw a picture of somebody carrying a big, huge cow inside the boot, and the cow sat inside the boot comfortably, lie down, as in it's not as if he was even squeezed himself inside. No, it's too. Then the back seat. In fact, that back seat, the car is so wide and fat that if you are not careful, 6 people might sit at the back comfortably. So it has its advantages. If you are a family man with more than 2, 3, 4 children, this car will serve you in terms of space. Yeah, you can carry, like I said, you'll be surprised. I'm not saying I've seen one, but 5 people will sit very comfortable, unless maybe 1 or 2 of you are very fat, you know. But average body size adults can sit. It might not be that much comfortable. If it's 4, no man, you'll be like you are sitting in your sitting room in this car. 4 people at the back. That's advantage. It's just that if you're not talking about status, come on. It's not a car you consider like you can use to serve you as a classic vehicle. Maybe the V6 might virtually have some value much later in future. But the first cylinder, make sure get rid of it as soon. If you currently have it, get rid of it whenever you can. Trust me, the car has zero value. It's not a car you can use. Okay, it can serve me as a classic vehicle. But at that time, you might not even see any part because the way the engine issue is probably every now and then. You might not really be able to even see parts anymore to fix them or technical know-how of fixing those issues. Now, it doesn't mean some people have not been able to use this engine for many years or hundreds of thousands of kilometers, even with this issue. Someone claimed there was a technician on YouTube, Toyota technician, that claimed that I think before the end of production of this generation of Camry, they improved on that problem. So you reduce a little bit. Man, if for me, I will even bother. Unless maybe there's another part, because I know 2AZFE, they continue the use of it from 2002 to even beyond 2010. I think so. Not sure. So if those versions can match, those ones used in 2009, Corolla or Camry or whatever, I don't know, maybe RAV4. I don't know much about models that use this engine with Toyota cars. But my point is, if there are better improved versions that these issues were solved, especially this overheating issue or engine block, thread stripping, and it can match because it's because the same engine model doesn't mean it will match on this particular car. There could be some changes that will not make it to work well here. So, but if that, then I'll source for engine of those ones used in 2010, 11, 12, 13, or whatever year. You know that if you can work with your electricals and other accessories in this vehicle, then you are better off. Then not necessarily, but at least you have peace of mind. Even though those other ones, because I know the one used in 2009 Corolla, they have their oil consumption issue. Yeah, at least you know that okay, you spending more in oil, topping up all the time, which is still better compared to having engine failure every now and then. So at least even that one with oil consumption has a solution. You change the piston and the rings to a newer version that prevents that oil burn. So other than that, I don't think I have any other thing to say concerning this car. Um, I don't. Personally, I have no business with this car. I don't care how good the engine is. It just the car doesn't appeal to me at all. No form of attraction. Interior, exterior, engine wise, boot space. Yeah, okay, it has good boot space, but come on, so is that not the only car with good boot space? So I mean, when you look at the car, look at how massive it is, then look at how small the tires are. It look kind of awkward. Let's look at the rear view. See, look at very big, massive. They now have one tiny, tiny. That look like tricycle. That's like a tricycle. It's one tiny tire. That might be big, or maybe who knows? This could be 16 or 17. I don't even know. But because of the size of the car, it now looks so small on it. So, as I don't know, some people they don't care. As long as it has Toyota bag, they are buying it. So I don't think you can do. But like I tell you, if you need it, get a V6. If you have one already and a 4 cylinder, look for money and upgrade. Move away from this, or you get a V6 one. And all the people I know that have V6, at least about very few, because most people in Nigeria they run away from V6. Why? Fuel consumption. So fine, I'm not going to. You'll be surprised that the difference might not even be that much between the 4 cylinder, the horrible 4 cylinder, this. Let's leave it as horrible. Horrible 4 cylinder and the good V6, the durable V2 V6. The consumption difference might be just very little. Yet you are willing to kill yourself. In other words, if two persons buy 2002 Corolla Camry, this particular car, one the 2.4 horrible engine, the other 3.0 or 3.3 V6 engine. By the next 5 years, the one that purchased 2.4 probably must have spent, like, let's put it in dollars. Let's just leave it in dollars. Maybe must have spent about $10,000 within 5 years changing the engine, doing all this work, maybe changing the threading the bolts or the threading the engine block or this or that. I'm not saying it must happen. I'm just saying, an idea. Must have spent close to $10,000. Why the one on V6? Because it's not doing any major repair like the 4 cylinder owner will be doing. The only thing you might spend on fuel, so you might end up spending maybe $3,000. because of additional money he has to spend in buying fuel. So that's what I'm saying. Which one make more sense? Because of additional money he spent to increase the distance using the VC than the one that every now and then you have a major bill. You can't even be you can't even fear. In fact, every morning you are driving the car, you don't even know what will happen. Whether you are going to come back to your house with towing van. So it doesn't matter what I say. Some people will still try to justify why the first cylinder is better for them. Hey, whatever makes you uh whatever works for you, fine. So I'm going to end this video here. So again, I'm going to put the disclaimer. I'm not a Toyota vehicle expert now. So I'm just using my um expert idea on Pojo brand to understand, and also what I observed from people around me, people online, and others, and then listen to Toyota specialists or experts talking, giving advice. From there I'll be able to say, okay, um, put all this in. I can analyze, say, walk away from this based on all this data collected, and go for this instead. You make your choice. At least do more research. I'm not asking you to take my words for it. Just research based on what you found. Do further research to confirm if I was telling the truth or not. All right, till next video.